5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Deducter bringing you the losers match of the OSL Ro24 Group E. We have RorO versus Paralyze, and Paralyze is the Protoss at the 11 o'clock, and RorO, here wearing the face mask, is the Zerg player, white Zerg it looks like, at the 5 o'clock. Paralyze is Teal. So Paralyze, personally, I hope Paralyze makes it out of this particular group and goes into the OSL proper again. I think he has the potential to be a up-and-coming star for the Protoss race, whereas RorO has been around for quite a while and has more or less been mediocre and not really achieved much of anything. So, I think is good for the younger players to get some confidence. You can make it into Star Leagues, maybe win a match or two, and perhaps even get yourself deeper in there. That's going to help them significantly. As RorO, I mean, he does not seem like championship material. And there we see the little kid again. Very nice. He's waving to the camera. That's adorable. Great for him. So even the Korean commentators are laughing. That's great. They're surely going to show the little kid again in the final match of this series. They are in cross-map positions, these two players, and the scouting probe is not going to find RorO first, obviously. So in cases like this, I think it is wise to put down your forge first. Be careful here. Don't want to get caught unprepared and lose in a silly way. Paralyze did lose his game to Hiva, rather, quite in a silly manner in my opinion, because he saw everything that Hiva was doing. He knew there was an absolutely massive Hydra attack coming, and he really should have plunked down as many defenses as he could. Nevertheless, he opted not to do that and lost the game. Generally, if a Protoss can survive that sort of concerted attack, they can do fine. They'll be able to eventually march out with a strong force, whereas the Zerg would have spent pretty much everything on that attack. And if they can't break through, they're not going to be in good shape. Looks like this was likely an overpool build coming from RorO here. He's already sent his drone out to put down a hatchery. It looks like he's going to get the Natro at the 2 o'clock position and work his way towards the main up there. So that's probably going to be his 4 bases, all on the eastern side of the map. That's not necessarily... sorry, apologize about that. Anyway, looks like the standard blockade going down here for Paralyze. So he's not in... Well, he scouted everything, so he knows there's absolutely no danger. His scouting probe is not doing nearly as well this game. It's lost quite a few HP at this point. It's probably going to have no choice but to pull back. However, Paralyze is persisting with that probe, it looks like. He kept it alive for quite a while in his initial match. And Paralyze honestly got all the scouting information he needed, just didn't execute his counter appropriately. Here's hoping that he performs better, and perhaps the first game was merely nerves. RorO already getting his lair. It looks like he's put down his expansion at his natural position. So both players not really doing anything crazy at this point. Perhaps, I wonder if the players actually have a chance to study. I know every player is allowed to view a replay of the match they just played, but I don't know whether they can study the replays of the other players in the games that are played in the same group that day. So basically, I wonder whether RorO has seen how Hiva beat Paralyze. Well, surely he must have, because when the players are not playing, they're probably watching, I would imagine. So surely he must have seen it. And perhaps he might have picked up on Paralyze's weakness there. Let's see how RorO decides to go this game. If he thinks Paralyze is particularly susceptible to one of these Hydra pushes, maybe that's exactly what he's going to do. We shall see. And now we see the probe still doing a reasonable job keeping itself alive, a Spire going down, so actually RorO is going for something different this game, or rather he's going for the usual build. I think the Scouting Probe finally taken out by Speedlings. Yeah, and quite a few Speedlings might be rallied to the front there by RorO. RorO's Spire is almost half finished there. He has no chance of breaking the front, of course, with these few Lings. Guess he just wants to take a peek and see what exactly is going on here. He does see the +1 attack upgrade on the forge, surely, but that is not really any surprise. RorO does not have any sort of Overlord potentially in position to potentially get a scout, even a suicidal scout. They are in cross-map position, so it's not like he would have been able to do that anyway. Corsair coming out here for Paralyze. He seems to want to scout first, or I mean, surely he realized that there must be an Overlord in the middle there, but he's elected to send his Corsair to take a look at the natural of RorO, and he's going to look again at the main. He's going to see the Spire. He's going to realize that a pair of Scourge are almost certainly at least morphing, but Paralyze is going to try to kill this Overlord, or at least do some damage. Not sure whether he's going to actually be able to kill it before Scourge come out to finish out his Corsair. I guess he is going to be able to kill at least one Overlord. No, it looks like a pair of Scourge are coming from the main map. That Scourge almost catching the Corsair. One Scourge lands. There's a second pair of Scourge. They might be sandwiching that Corsair. The Overlord escapes with barely any health left, and there's some Overlord. There's some Scourge chasing Corsair action going on here. RorO is trying to trap the Corsair with his Scourge. He was almost successful with Paralyze showing good micro of his Corsair, juking in and out there. Impressive work by Paralyze, I have to say. He's also pushing out with a group of Zealots to try to put some pressure on at the 3 o'clock position, or 2 o'clock, I guess, position, but I think the Zealots will see the defenses, probably a Sunken, and the Lings, and be forced back. They are forced back. Now let's see whether the Scourge able to catch. No, the Scourge not able to catch the Corsair. Very nice work by Paralyze. He has demonstrated that he has some skill. Needs to back up the Zealots to his base, under the cover of his cannons there. I don't want to lose these units like this. That would be rather foolish. That Zealot almost dead, but not quite. So both players sort of in a stalemate at this point. Not too surprising. Still building up their forces. Let's see how strong Paralyze's push is and how good he is with his initial attack. He's probably upgrading +1 air attack at the Cybernetics Core and his Corsairs. There looks to be quite a few in his Corsair fleet at this point. Scourge coming in here to scout for RorO, but it's going to see the Corsairs and die almost instantly. It sees at least one more gateway going down, but none of this is really news. Second Scourge not going to be able to see anything either. Trying to fly into natural, but killed by cannon. So, RorO in the dark here about what Paralyze is doing. Well, not completely. I think he's seen enough to know that this is just a standard +1 speed lot attack build coming from Paralyze. So, RorO needs to be a bit cautious here. Especially he needs some more Scourge to deal with the Corsair, because those Corsairs would absolutely massacre the Mutalists in a straight-up engagement. RorO hopefully has built a few more Scourge, quite a few more Scourge, in fact, to deal with these Corsairs. He's got nice defenses at his 2 o'clock base. Paralyze has gotten 2 High Templar. He's not morphed them to Archons yet. That's wise, I think. Archons not really necessary against the Mutalists, nor are they really very good at breaking down the front. I mean, Sunkens do full damage to Archons, plus the Hydralisks in the back there. Archons, very bulky units, not able to sneak through. So Storm, on the other hand, could make a difference in a big battle there. On the other hand, Archons do a lot of damage to the buildings. Perhaps they can help break down the wall more readily. It does not look like RorO is seriously trying to contest the air here. He's built the odd Scourge or 2, but at this point, unless he's massed up a good dozen or so Scourge, he's not going to have any sort of effect. Paralyzed now putting down 2 more cannons at his front. He seems to be a bit concerned about counterattack. I think that's a reasonable thing to do.